Takar says, historically, how have new civilization centers formed after mass migration? The thing is, I'm not sure if we've had like mass migration on this scale. There's always been migration, but never at this extraordinary scale.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Anglo-Saxon migration into England, for example, that was a couple 100,000 over the space of about 6 centuries. So, and that was the largest migration that we've had in British history before modern migration. So, yeah, the type of migration we're having now is without historical precedent.
Yeah, I mean, when you had hundreds of thousands of men swarming into a land, that was called an invasion. Again, no, you would never call that a sort of migration.
But even if you're talking about invasion, like the Vikings was 30,000-40,000, and the Normans was 8,000.
Yeah.
So even invasion,
your people back then.
Yeah, but still, 12,000 on the island of Black Sabbath, 8,000 Normans after they won. So even invasion doesn't have historical precedent. But we're going through an alien mode of history.
You know, I'm trying to find the facts. Because surely the job is not that. Surely that's kind of a text.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, who knows where it came from? I mean, the problem, of course, I mean, as we all know, even in the midst of these stories, there's just enervating fakes that go around. Like, I've seen so many videos of the Lampedusa thing that are basically using videos from years ago and trying to pass them off as like recent things. So I would say that everyone who's concerned about these things, be very careful what you sort of believe on social media, because so much of it is just people just trying to get engagement.
So I'm looking at the nearest one now. I'm noticed that the next even more complicated. Like, they don't reproduce the actual image. It says here, source of the image, the mirror, i.e. they've mocked up text.
Yeah.
Why do they do that?
Who knows? Better resolution, you know. Evidence issues, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, some sort of mocked up therapy as well. So I don't know if the one that's floating around on Twitter is connected to anything like that. Or they all fake things.
I remember back in the 2000s during the Iraq War, there was a whole news story. I think who was that news? Dan Rather, America, and there was a whole story about George W. Bush like trying to avoid service in Vietnam, and so they brought out this like memo, and that memo is the one that they said was fake, and people took it out because it was kerning that would only be done on the word processor, which of course they didn't have back in like 1970, 60, whatever. So I remember, a typography issue has certainly brought down falsehoods before, but who knows what this is.
Okay, I have got the original one from
The bad one, yeah. Wow.
Really weird. I mean, what they could have done, just to try to give them his like, is they could have had 2 separate screenshots and stitched them together on MS Paint, something like that.
Well, or a competent graphic designer could have mocked that up. Could have made an acceptable one in 10 minutes.
Why is it smudged? Don't get the smudge out.
Score!
What frequency?
Takar says, I mean, is it significant that it would have been, these like horrendously fake looking text?
And the language, I mean, this was again from the 2000s. Yeah, someone in the chat says this. It doesn't read like 2000s. People weren't using that kind of language and that kind of terminology really. It just doesn't sound like something that was written at 2004 or 2006 or whenever. Wow.
Well, when it gets to court, it gets in front of the jury, they'll be able to give proper analysis of all the scrutiny it deserves.
Yeah, that's true. Again, if it was Apple iMessage, yeah, that isn't the user. That's not what I remember. What iMessage looked like back then.
Enemy team scored.
Takar says, historically, R8 says, Sir Oswald Mosley's conspicuous network, which was not strictly listed in 1974, will apparently be re-established in the 2025 general election. A portent? Well, not Smedwick is electing massive... that's happening in Smedwick.
Enemy team took the hill.
Probably because people who would have voted for Oswald Mosley don't need it anymore. Timestealer says, are you Steam killed now, AA? Well, I'm not like in Steam or anything. I think it's a fun thing to take the place. So kind of take on Steam stuff. I mean, it's a nice little wholesome thing to do.
Yeah, Timestealer, he's not like you. You remember that chap who makes those videos like standing there looking at the train pulling in, and he's like, ah! It's not like you, Timestealer.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Steam things, there's like a bloody active on the train, like a military. There's like a bunch of assassins on the military. Just like randomly of it. One of the agents is this black British nerd who starts talking about Thomas the Tank Engine. Like pulls out a little card with like all of the different tanks and like explains their personality. It's like such a random thing to happen in the middle of like a violent like assassins killing each other on the train.
Isn't there a Brigitte engine now?
What, in actual
Oh, I don't know. What would be a trans engine? An engine that went from diesel to steam?
Some of them aren't that bad. Some of the CG Thomas is not that bad. I've watched it.
Reject all CG.
Kind of alright.
No.
Here's the unit says, oh god, a woman and a psychologist. Imagine like entropy is still not working for me. The entropy team short media fixing it. Well, that's good to know. Entropy is working, but it's definitely not working for everything. Because, well, the cat has more people doing it on normal systems.
And I do think that AA has to imagine it lives. I think he lives it every day.
Or at least 3 or 4 days a week.
Yeah, 3 or 4 days a week.
Since Corner said, this is for the Kingston, brilliant and media. You'll find more interesting artists in any document how you decide.
Yeah, well, you can go fuck yourself then, Cornish. Oh, wait, he was complimenting me, sorry. Sorry, I thought he was telling me to find better artists, but no.
Not the find more interesting artists than Unstaken, more the find more interesting artists. Like,
oh, okay. Oof, okay. I got my finger on my trigger. Should take it off.
It's the default responses.
Indeed, because I hate the fact that I'm angry about, you know,
Your
everything,
team
so...
about to
C123 says the ultimate feature is going to be
whiplash.
I don't think that's true. I think it's possible, is it? The channel of this site only get 100 views.
No,
It's
no.
It's not possible. I can upload a blank screen and we get more than 100 views just by
Your
switching
team
the amount of
They make a City Con video.
Heal incoming.
No, it's just, I mean, it's just fact, to be honest. I literally could post a blank screen and there'd be more than 100 views. It's just technology and that.
I have posited, though, that the lower the view count, the more esoteric quality that you'll find within. But that's probably just high-level copium.
Well, I mean, the truth is that politics and news stuff draws more than culture stuff. Because that's the audience that's on this
Yeah.
channel.
I was like your resident stream, which was brilliant. You know, it's for a select group of high level.
Let me give you an example. If I put
Enemy
each store by most
team
popular,
took the
all the
hill.
top ones are kind of politics or politics adjacent. Part of
Or Sneed Oil.
yeah, well, I mean, Sneed oil politics adjacent.
Okay. And Thomas the Tank it's got decent numbers.
Hill control.
What's the low? Can you see what the lowest number is?
Yes, because I can sort by. I can just go to the bottom of the list.
Enemy team took
Please
the
don't be
hill.
online.
We've lost a teammate.
The very bottom one is if it's your 122B, why would it part two.
That was a rerun. That was a repeat.
That was a repeat of like a 10-year-old podcast, and it was part of the. Remember, I released 8 hours of material all at once. But then above that is Translating Crazy. The last one, Birth, Population, and Death.
And that's a great title as well. And it had a very eye-catching thumbnail. No, we're being suppressed by the
And then
algorithm.
above that was Annual Part 6.
Oh.
And then above that was 14 copyright. So the live audience numbers were lost.
Yeah, it's like Bowie number 7, I think. Yeah.
Why are you going in by yourself?
Oh my gosh.
Not all numbers.
Enemy team
I'm off to
nearing
neck myself.
victory.
And then I'm afraid if we go up Warhol, Bowie, Warhol, Bacon,
Enough.
So, but then there's readings from Maxwell House, so, you know, that's over there.
What are the routes to clutch?
Get in the hill, get in the hill, get in the hill, get in the hill, get in the hill.
Or guess. You know, freaking.
More depressingly is that, for example,
Defeat.
have a look, the one that did really well, that the structural analysis of the Mr. Men books, 7.3 thousand watches. That's not one. The rerun of my top 100 films, part 2, with 7.5. So, you know. Anyway, our John Margoli's photo streams did well. They did really well.
And they were 5 bloody hours long.
But I think that generally helps. It's a longer time, I think. Increases view count most of the time. Anyway, let's carry on.
Goodbye, cruel world.
It doesn't really. The thing is, the view count of Deep Store don't matter because Deep Store is essentially subsidized by the rest of the channel. It's a subsidized art show. It's like
Right.
my Alan Yentov show. Yeah.
Right.
It is.
By Tony and we're ranked under 3.
Yeah, so the new subsidizes the arts.
Oh.
All right. Mike says thoughts on BlackRock, Soros, Rothschild Investment Corporation, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and Citibank buying Bitcoin. There'll be not a lot of surprise there. I said that before. I said that they would just incorporate it. I said that at the time, didn't I? I think I did a stream once with a very big Bitcoin advocate, that guy Who's, a fellow Iranian, and I voiced concerns there. I said, well, this is another centralized system. Ultimately, they will centralize it. Big Nick 420 says, I mean, it was just another libertarian delusion, wasn't it? That,
Oh, yeah.
the way out of this is going to be through like Bitcoin.
Base Bitcoin.
Big Nick 420 says Zuma Pride worldwide. Pete Juvenile. Although I would say that. Big Nick 420 says Zuma Pride worldwide. Pete Juvenile. Although I would say that the investment banks getting into all of that stuff does have another driver, which is the search for yield.
Ye? Oh, yield. Okay.
Yield.
Why are you saying it like that?
I don't know. Anyway,
The search for ye. No, he's not Bowden Venice getting a blowy from a... Okay.
he says Zuma Pride worldwide.
Big Nick has become a semi-regular on the cocktail hour street. He's coming in quite a lot recently.
Peter Juvenile says, would love to see Clifford Bates on this panel. Okay. MF Corp says, for oft when I use my couch, I mean, I do remember that Clifford Bates reviewed Populist Illusion and started it by like credential standing and saying, oh well, the trouble is with Parvini is that he's not a political scientist. Yada yada yada. How about shut up? I wrote a good book on elite theory and you didn't, so have that.
By the way, I've
MF
got to make a notation because this is a historical first. This is the first time that you have said the word Parvini on the stream. On this stream.
On this, well, I said it in quotation. I was quoting Bates. Quoting Bates. Yeah, I mean, I started watching that review and like literally like 15 minutes of credentialism. I'm like, mate, give it up already. You know, I can't. You know, that's not going to go over well with anybody. So, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, the thing is, this guy, because he did a PhD in Shakespeare, he can't write about Moscow and Prato. I fucking can, and I did, and I'll do it again. I also wrote a book on economics with praise from economists all on the back of it. You didn't do that, did you? I did.
By the way, speaking...
When you've got fundamentals, you can do anything. Anything.
Go up, Parcheesi. No, I just wanted to say, you've got to come on, you've somehow come on Cocktail Hour, because I discovered last week that Oliver, aka Semigog, is a Shakespeare authorship skeptic.
Oh, God.
Oh,
And,
these people that think he was made up or something.
Why?
They're like Shakespeare was a character.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
he wrote it.
I accuse him of being an Oxfordian, but it's even worse. It's even worse than that. So
Why do they bother?
you got to sort him out. It's the hideous modern tendency to want to destroy heroes. You know. We'll come for your ass, Oliver, in more ways than one.
I just
But
don't
like,
get it.
when people say that about like I don't know, Homer or something, it annoys me. But at least it's far enough back that you can kind of see where they're coming from, even if you reject it.
Yeah, I mean,
But
Homer is
Shakespeare was so
Homer.
good.
Yeah, there's really almost nothing about Homer as a person, and there is about William Shakespeare.
Yeah,
a lot.
exactly. Like,
He
at
was,
least,
he was a 10% stockholder in his own joint stock company called the Lord Chamberlain's Men.
Well, so what brought this up is Semigog said that there is no way that a commoner like William Shakespeare could have known how the court worked, and he wrote about the court so perceptively. And I said, of course, he was like performing for the court. He was all around those people, you know.
yeah,
He
yeah,
could read.
He could read.
yeah, and
But no, he couldn't read because he couldn't. He was illiterate.
More importantly, well, let me just settle this once and for all. Okay.
Alright.
The university wits of that period, like the guys who've been to Oxford and Cambridge, right? Like Ben Jonson and Marlowe, like these guys have been to university. Okay.
yeah, they didn't like Shakespeare.
Well, I mean, he was a contemporary of theirs, but you know, there's a famous passage by Robert Greene where he's dissed and calls an upstart crow and all this sort of stuff. But the thing you have to understand is that they were taught how to kind of write classically in Latin, and they constantly showed off their knowledge of these forms. And Shakespeare famously didn't have a lot of Latin, and even less Greek, and so he's very sparing with his amount of showing off in that sort of way. So it's kind of like I don't really understand, and then you have to go to the flip side, right? Which is that okay, well, like, he'd never been to Milan, so how could he have known about it? Or he'd never been like he wasn't a noble, so how did he know the court worked? But on the flip side, he grew up as a glover, right? His dad was a glover. He worked in the shop. He left school at the age of 12, and he lived in a pretty rural part of Stratford. Like his wife had a little plot of their own land there. Okay, so he was from that sort of background. And my question to all those people is like, how is your Earl of Oxford getting his esoteric knowledge of the glove-making
Of the gloving.
and the herbs and like all of that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
Or how is he like? I mean, it works both ways, right? How is the Earl of Oxford writing speeches for the Blue Mechanicals, or the tavern scenes in Henry IV, or
Yes.
like Peter Quince or something? It works both ways, right? And I would say it would be easier for a guy who went to grammar school to learn about how the court operated than to do the flip side, which is how is the nobleman going to get enough kind of earthy knowledge like that? Like there are whole books written about like herbal, like knowledge of herbs in King Lear, stuff like that. If you have a look at Ben Jonson's plays, he doesn't have that sort of knowledge because he was a city boy.
Yeah.
So it's all this sort of stuff. But anyway, so,
Yeah, I brought that up also because, of course, another thing people don't know is that the fragrance perfumery industry actually in many parts of Europe had its beginnings with glove makers because it's before people used sort of liquid scent on themselves. They would often buy things that were scented already, including gloves. I mean, almost all gloves were scented, partially because the tanning process was sometimes malodorous. So they sent gloves, they sent handkerchiefs and all these things. So often gladiators were people who also knew how to work with herbs and in the creation of scent and the extraction of essential oils and all these things. So I mean, there is an odd connection there.
yeah, I'll say something else as well though, which is that when you really start getting into the plays, it's really obvious this guy's like from Stratford as well. Like all through the history plays, he's really pro Warwick. Why is he pro Warwick? I mean, he's
三上は授業態度が悪いのに、試験の成績に関しては問題。
You know,
バイキングでケーキを食べられるとは限らない。
or if he's this guy from Oxford, why is he doing these things?
外国ではマナーの違い
Put that
に
in
も
your pipe
気を
and
つけ
smoke
る
it,
ことです。
Thranduil.
I mean, there are mysteries. Like, for example, I don't understand where the Welsh in Henry IV comes from, or how he would have known.
Yeah, how did he get that?
I don't know that bit. But
Maybe someone from his acting company as well.
it's probably that.
Yeah.
Probably there was Welsh, and he does give a lot of Welsh parts out around that time as well. So there's a Welsh captain in Henry V as well. So.
Because wasn't he basically part of the collective? Like the Globe Theatre was like an acting company that had to
Kingsmen.
come and go, but like there was like a solid chunk. Of course, so if he had like a bunch of Welsh parts and some Welsh language, probably they had a couple guys from Wales. You know, Occam's
Yeah,
razor.
exactly. I mean, people don't understand certain things as well. Like, for example, if you're an actor in that company, you wouldn't get the whole play. You'd get all of your parts separately, right? You'd only get your parts. You wouldn't have all the other people's bits. You'd have your part.
Same with film in some theatre today as well. You get sides, you get parts of the script.
And the folio and the editions of Shakespeare we have were produced in 1623 after he died, from all the fragments and bits that they found and they put them all together. But the company did not have them like that, and he didn't bring them out in his own lifetime like that. So there was no they were, and some bits maybe were even recreated from memory, some bits. And this is why you get different versions of different plays. But anyway, I don't want to get into like textual editing at this hour. So anyway, let's carry on. MF Corp says, "For oft when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, the flash upon that inward eye, which is bliss of solitude," which he sent that twice for some reason. And when in my heart the pleasure comes and dances with the Monster Munch series will soon be available at the academic agency.
日本人が毎日米ばかり食べているとは、明日の遠足に関しての連絡が来ていません。
1978 is essential reading on the Empire, and it is Trabsphobic to disagree with his views. Trabsphobic, what's that? Also, more recently, try Colonialism, A Moral Reckoning by Nigel Bigar. I met Nigel Bigar once. Okay, all right. I have a working theory that all of the best history is written either by reactionaries or Marxists, and all the worst history is written by centre-righters. Like, i.e., people who are like a kind of court historians on the centre-right, I think, probably write the worst history, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know where Jan Morris or Nigel Bigar sit in that continuum, but you know what I mean by that, right?
Yeah.
People who write apologetics, like, the British Empire wasn't really racist or something like that. When you really understand it, really it was just like some version of the US Constitution or some bullshit.
Yeah,
this sort of stuff. It's just bad history. And I've seen a lot of rubbish stuff written in that sort of vein.
You're basically talking about it's not just the centre right, also the centre left. Like that Weinstein guy who's trying to now bring in MLK as the founding father. It's like trying to make everything seem palatable to the modern day, the modern sensibilities. It's the worst history. Just either be unapologetically reactionary in favor of it, or be like a cynical Marxist applying analysis to it. You know?
I mean, Marxists write good history because they're just focused on the power mechanics, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, they'll say, "Oh, well, this was bad, and this is why capitalism must be overthrown or whatever," right? And the reactionaries will basically just write exactly the same history and just be like, "Yeah, this was good," right? And that's good stuff. The trouble is that the centre left and centre right often write very agenda-driven stuff, right?
Yeah.
Where all of history is like bending towards this moment.
Yeah. Like that Steven Pinker guy.
But yeah, I mean, Pinker just writes appalling. I mean, his Blank Slate book is good, but his the stuff I critique is just
I think angels of our better nature.
yeah. Mighty Balzac says, when was the Times chums with Channel 4? Since when was the Times chum with Channel 4? Yeah, how can the Times or Sunday Times and Channel 4 working together on this question? The thing is that it probably wasn't like Channel 4 writ large, it was whoever produced that Dispatches program.
And they're all working off the same script, basically, at this point, so...
I mean, Dispatches will have a production company behind them.
寝る前
Right?
は
People who run that.
テレビやパソ
Yeah,
コ
Channel
ン
4
を
would be
見
the
ないこ
distributor
と
or
だ
the, the executive producer or something. It's not that generally they don't produce things like that in-house,
I'm actually wondering who it was now.
外国ではマナーの違いにも気をつけることです
Okay. Matty G for $50. That's the super chat of the night so far. He says, for the Kink stream, one of the best bands ever. I was hoping you'd linger on Muswell Hillbillies longer. It oozes pathos for life in the ashes, especially in its crowning jewel, Complicated Life. Otherwise, a 10 out of 10 stream, I gratitude. Well, I did originally pick 3 tracks from Muswell Hillbillies, but of course 20th Century Man was getting the stream blocked, so it was only 2 in the end. I'm trying to remember what I picked for tomorrow's stream now. It wasn't, I think I picked Holloway Jail to showcase the kind of Western, American thing he was going for on the album, so... Happy Ghost Play Doctor says, like good old Mark Gillette said about Russell Brand in Nazi Boy, you are the tool of the establishment and will always be a tool of the establishment. To me, Russell Brand is nothing more than control opposition.
I don't know. I grow weary of the controlled opposition narrative. Yeah.
But you see, I mean, somebody can be part of the regime until they're not, see?
You can fall away, yes, you can fall away.
I do believe that people can be red-pilled, though, right? And what if Russell Brand was red-pilled at the same time that everybody else was?
Yeah, and
By
also
the extraordinary events that we've seen.
And also his sort of stimulus for shifting his views was like a very human, normal one, which is he got off drugs, got married, had a kid, and was like, oh, I've got to start taking life more seriously now. That is something that will cause a perspective change. So it's not like he just randomly changed everything while living the same life, you know?
But also, like, control to what end?
Yeah, I don't think he's controlled opposition. I don't think he's our guy, but he's certainly not their guy. So.
I mean, yeah, but when people say our guy, what they mean is he doesn't have exactly the same views as me.
Yeah.
Right? But what I'm saying is that people can be against the regime for all sorts of reasons.
Yeah. That's kind of how I do it.
He's much closer to somebody like RFK, right?
Yeah, I group him in with RFK and with Joe Rogan, Jimmy Dore, as these like left-wing populists that distrust the regime. They're not like social conservatives or nationalists like we are, but they are still opposed to the regime just from a libertarian left-wing perspective.
Giant Geo, our good friend Geo, I think it's called those people alt normies. I don't know if he came up with that, but yeah, the alt normie sphere, yeah.
Or dissident left or something. I don't know.
Alphonse, I mean, let's face it though, you can be against what they did during COVID and the vaccine stuff and some climate change stuff, say, and I don't know, 15-minute cities and the general fact that the elites don't listen to people, be against all that stuff without being a race realist.
迷うな
You can maintain Fresh Prince in one area and get off the reservation in other areas. And I think that Russell Brand is someone who wants to do that in a way. He's not going to... I don't think Russell Brand is suddenly going to, like, I don't know, start mouthing off about black people or whatever.
He's not quoting Mosley or anything.
I don't think he is going to do that. But that doesn't mean that he's controlling the position.
And it also doesn't... It also doesn't mean that there isn't great utility in this person with a reach of millions, convincing, middle class white ladies, and Rogan with a reach of millions, convincing young millennials and dudes that you can't trust the regime and that they lied about lockdowns. Like, even if he's not like super base and red pill, there is huge utility to anyone that opposes the regime.
Kill incoming.
Claiming it is easy. Keeping it, on the other hand.
Oh my fucking god, bro!
Kill red.
Off of my dick!
Enemy team took the hill. Hill control. Your team about to
This game was fucking annoying, bro.
lost another. Enemy team took the hill.
Gay ass nigga.
Hill control. Your team scored. Hill incoming. Hill ready. Enemy team took the hill.
Yeah, I'm under.
Whiplash. Hill control.
Lost another to a sword fighter.
Nigga. Nigga!
Active camo available.
Your team about to score.
Oh my fucking
Enemy
god!
team took the hill.
Bruh, I can't grab this fucking camera without some dork fucking chasing me.
Hill control. Up and away.
Oh, this is that one map. Oh, okay.
Your team scored. Hill incoming.
It's that one Halo 3 map.
Enemy team took the hill.
But they made it King Chong Wing Wong, and of course there's a fucking faggot just chilling around the fucking corner. So there's actually niggas that spend money on this game. Like this game was fucking free and you spent money on it. And motherfuckers that play on PC. Bro, that's some gay ass shit.
Enemy about to score.
Ah, get off my dick!
Hill control. Enemy team took the hill.
Oh my god!
I'll satisfy.
Enemy team scored. Hill incoming. Hill
Come in, nigga! Don't you run from me,
enemy
little
team took
nigga!
the hill.
Active camo inbound.
Oh my god!
Enemy sheep.
Bro, I fucking hate fat women! Alright, I'm fuck.
Enemy about to score. Enemy team scored. Hill incoming. Hill ready. Hill control.
He left. We were winning.
Enemy team took the hill.
Nope. Fuck.
control. Nearing victory. Do that again. Victory.
To these two people. So you sort of have to tolerate them being kind of idiots.
Also, you just don't know what somebody's trajectory is going to be. Because Scott Adams, right? I would never have dreamed Scott Adams would end up where he is now.
You just gotta move away from him. You just gotta get away from him.
I mean, if you watch Scott Adams recently, he's, I mean, you know, okay, again, he's not like going to start poking into some of the questions that I may have gone into on this channel, or on some of the questions that, you know, some other people might do. But considering the sort of stuff he used to make and what he's saying now, he's moved a long way, I would say. Everybody has. Everybody has. Because reality's got a way of doing that. And once you start waking up to one thing, you wake up to this thing and this thing and this thing. So it's not impossible that Russell Brand will do that. But I feel like Russell Brand is one of those people, there's a lot of people like this, whose kind of leftery is very important to his own sense of his own identity.
Yeah.
If that makes any
So
sense.
Glenn Greenwald is another example of that. You know, he's just still just doggedly maintains his sort of status as a man of the left. But yeah, or you know, someone like Dave Rubin. You know, weirdly enough, did you know it's like 2015 again? Sargon is going back on Dave Rubin.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he is.
Trying to revive Ruben's failed channel.
I know. I haven't heard anything out of Rubin, but it's like, oh, you know, we got a Trump election and we got Sargon back on Rubin, cats and dogs living together.
Rubin's still going. I mean, he's got 2 million, you know.
Well, see,
2 million subs.
I'll tolerate Brand, but not Ruben, because him and his partner did human trafficking together.
Oh yeah, and
I'm good with Rogan. I'm good with Brand, but I'm not good with him.
Well, I've never liked Rubin anyway. I mean, you know, he's a recreational marijuana user, and as people know from when I appeared on Jay Burton all those months ago, that I think heroin use is more acceptable than smoking weed. So yeah, Rubin I was finished with from the start. But still, I mean, these people, even though they're compromised in what ways, you know, they're still useful.
I mean, his view counts vary, but he's got some videos for the past 2 weeks that have got like 800,000 views. I mean, he's not done then.
Okay, I never hear about him, but
I thought he was dead because he's just.
He's got some.
He's
He's got some videos that do more like numbers like I do. But you see, big channels like that, they play like 3 or 4 videos a day, don't they? Yeah. They try to catch every part of the algo. Some of them take off and some of them don't. You know, so.
And yes, chat, I mean that sincerely. I would rather tolerate heroin users than fucking hate them. Because at least there's an end. At least if you keep using heroin, and I know this very well, if you keep using it, there's an end to your story. But you can go on smoking weed and turning into a fucking vegetable your entire life.
How far right this is going to become like a Lee Reed album.
Heroin, it's my life, it's my wife.
It's like a 4-hour show. That's a long show.
I'm in the spike, because my game.
Alphonse Rice again says, I'm starting to fun to send everybody a GB News at your top of delusion. They really don't know what time it is. The thing is, I think they do. I honestly think that GB News. You want to talk about control?
Yeah,
I mean, if anybody is like that dude, watch your
God.
Enemy team took the
Andrew
hill.
Neely control the position.
Yeah, the only way you can change that guy's mind would probably be upside the head.
I think the reason it's always it's always super obvious who's control the position and who's not. It's super obvious, always. The only person who's grey area on that is Matt Walsh. Because of who he works for. But Matt Walsh seems to have license to say things everyone wants to say. I don't know why. So he's the only one that I'm not quite sure. Because most people just say where their bread is impressive.
What do you do with cases like Hanania or Lindsay? Well, Lindsay is an obvious enemy, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just obvious. To me, it's just obvious. Just by business sense. Yes, no. There are unusual things that nobody ever talks about. Like, for example, like Steve Turner, who we often feature on the show, massive platform. Now, he's not control of position in my view, but he's in the tank for Magna. He's in the tank for Magna. He's not control of position.
He's in the tank for Steve Turley, is he?
No, he's in the tank for Magna. He is a mega operator.
Hill
And
incoming.
you have to understand that. There are like different, like, just get Mega exists as some sort of organisation that does like fun stuff and that's good road stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean it's waging the right, but clearly Mega
Enemy
is
team
trying
took the
to.
hill.
Steve Turley is not regime aligned. Steve Turley will oversee the implosion of the regime.
Steve
Also,
Turley
conservative friends.
is not regime aligned. Steve Turley very much is Mega aligned.
Yes.
And so there are layers of complications to read into
100,000 Africans flying into Italy. It's the new conservative revolution.
the Durand. They're not regime aligned either. But they're pretty Russia aligned.
Sadness, yeah.
I mean, it's not that difficult. You know what I mean? There are most of not that many people who are just completely intelligent. What are you laughing at? I don't want to attack anybody. Apart from the truth.
I mean, this is the man who is literally reduced to advocating for birds'
Enemy
custard
team
powder.
took the hill.
You keep saying I'm talking to big government.
Yeah, big slot. You're working for big slot. Yeah.
AAH is like powdered puddings.
Big custard.
We've lost a teammate.
That's a very obscure tweet referencing that.
I was so incensed, but it was one of those that I was going to do my usual subtweet of you. I just decided, why not?
I mean, alright, it's come on, I'm just trying to.
I know.
I'll get that. But, it was our buddy Peg. You can get a thread about British food. I'm a French I just said, as a veteran sausage rolls, I like to defend post-austerity British cuisine.
Right, there's someone not
Thrill of
fucking
Scottish
playing on
Rite,
our team.
the glory of
Great.
bird's custard, carnation condensed milk, frey bentos pie and a tongue. Now, it's very rare that I deliberately like something to annoy you specifically, but that was 100% work on.
Wait, sort of work. I didn't take the bait though. I was going to, and I did it. Oh, Frey Bentos. Oh, absolutely abysmal. The thing about that slop is that some of it used to be a lot better than it is now. I actually had a Frey Bentos pie a year or two ago, a new one, and they certainly are much worse than they used to be. Far less meat in them.
This is a better quality level. They're going to be the slot.
Yeah. And for people, Americans, Angel Delight is like Jello instant pudding. It's the same sort of thing. It's basically a starch. Sugar sweetened. Bad news. Bad news.
See what you says. Imagine if all the bad people made to go away. That'd be nice. No, I often fantasize about them, like 3 wishes with a genie, right? I mean, one is I want all of the powers of every property.
Force lightning and
But I often think that number 2 would be all my enemies dead.
Wow.
Would be amazing. Not my personal enemies, like all the anyone connected with the regime is dead tomorrow.
Just, I'd go for number 1, Superman powers, and then just do number 2 myself. And stay.
Well, the thing is that one of powers is super. You had real life. I had all the powers of the team.
What's my first wish be?
Enemy
On the 8th rather than
took
21.
the hill.
Yeah, man, it's okay. And you want to keep number 3 in the bag for a long time. Keep that genie waiting because that fucker wants to get out of that lamp.
My two, Superman powers. Britain never entered either of the world wars, and I'm getting the third.
Because remember, the genie is like a sneaky Persian, so it's all a trick. You can't use the last wish because it's all a trick. You know, the last wish is always the one that screws it up. So. I mean, the whole concept of the genie is, I mean, that's all different. But I think the specific like Hollywood genie.
I think it is Arab because it stems from Jinn, which was Arabian nature spirit, 9 dead people worshipped in pre-Islam.
Yeah, I know, but there's also like Roman gens and genius, and that was a concept. And yeah,
There were some pretty weird things that crop up in that book.
Oh yeah.
But you've got to remember Shahnameh was written in like 1200 or something, so who knows what bullshit is in there, you know. So.
Also, doesn't the genie in Aladdin come from 1001
Enemy
Arabian
team
nights?
nearing.
That's what I wondered. 1001 nights. I don't know.
I don't know.
Look at this guy, look, you guys are so clear. Listen, we get 2 4 hours. It's 1:15 and knackered. Sorry that I'm not immediately the phase of origin of the team. Doesn't know the lot of you can actually pay him to like exercise again.
No, we'll send you a USB stick to do that. There's a genie in this USB stick.
Machiavelli says, when are you going to be smart with that? Well, that's not going to be right. I mean, I have no legal talent. I'm sick, so what's my contribution? I can provide raps. Raps. And D would have to both sing and play on the instrument.
You can keep the books.
Lady Sherlock says, this witch hunt on brand could not happen.
John, for fuck's sake.
Must investigate all sexual assault claims. There we go. Also, Lady Sherlock says, Brand would pay for Channel 4 to have a big man to escape. Now his big man's gone in the wrong direction for the regime. They want him to shut up. They want him absolutely. I agree. Dan Qua says, you don't leave the mafia and turn informer without going into witness protection. Brand had the temerity to say, I'm here, come and get me. Yes. The thing is that he's been preparing for this. He set up on Rumble and everything. He was prepared to get his YouTube taken down and stuff. So it's actually an interesting situation because he was ready for something. And he said that in the video. So interested to know what he's got lined up. Lady Sherlock and how to play that because what if they just fail cancelling?
I mean, they tried to cancel Rogan a few times and it hasn't really worked.
I mean, I tell you who else has been completely uncancelable, and that's Tucker Carlson. And I noticed that Tucker Carlson got on this story straight away. And I put out on Twitter, I said, it's interesting that Tucker, almost like Dusty, had a sixth sense not to get on the Elon versus ADL bandwagon. Didn't get on that. Straight on this one, though. I wonder if he kind of has a sixth sense about these things as well. But yeah, I mean, so it's clear the route that Brand could take. Could just go straight. And I tell you who else gave Loki support for Brand, and that was Elon Musk. So that's basically Musk saying, bring your audience on here. Interview with Tucker Carlson, Bob's uncle.
Oh yeah, that's that.
Russell Brand show is now a Twitter exclusive. I mean, it's custom made, basically. Lady of Sherlock says, I've seen Brand, and the thing is that the only way the regime will succeed, like to go back to the discussion, is if he's arrested and put in jail, like, or if this goes to court properly, and you know they attempt to have justice on it, one way or the other. That is the only way that the cancellation will 100% succeed. I would say.
Which is also perhaps the raison d'être of proceeding with indictments and of Trump as well, because of course they never really found a way to kind of put him down or kind of put his diehard fans off him. You know, so. I mean, it's funny because a lot of these Me Too things don't work. It didn't work. They tried it on Trump, it didn't work. They did it on Kavanaugh, famously, all full court press, and it didn't work.
Takar says, I wonder if we will all learn to become an international racer over time. No, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Cat Lady 45 says, who has the sexy voice, AA or Brand?
I don't think either have sexy voices, to be honest. No offense.
Blue Wiz Rope says, well, there are 80,000 people who disagree with that, Zuma. Do you remember there was that voice thing going on a couple of weeks back?
Oh, you mean that thing that was designed to get right-wingers to submit a sample of their voice for the feds?
Oh no, the regime knows what my voice sounds like, he says, with a channel of thousands of hours of content with my voice on it.
You can train an AI. You can train an AI with you easily with your channel. Yeah.
But that claimed I was a mid on that rate. I was like a 115 mid.
I got Chad or something. So.
Chad.
Yeah,
well, I didn't have any problem with it at all. Yeah.
There was that, and there
どう
was
す
like,
る
there was like a voice cell or something.
今日どっか行く
It was like a voice incel, I guess.
それとも
It was the
家
last
で
Well,
の
I
ん
tried
び
to
り
take
し
the
た
test
い
and the thing just broke.
Alright, let's carry on. Lady of Charlotte says, I've seen Brand in stand-up many times. There was a queue of women at the stage door after each show. Women threw themselves at him. It's a witch hunt. So there we go. I hope you weren't one of them, Lady of Charlotte. I hope you weren't one of them. Cat, actually, she would never be. Cat, we did that one. Who has the sexier voice? Blue Wiz Rope says, at this rate, George Floyd will be a late founding father within 30 years. Tricholus, the last Celt says, Caesar is the moon and Kagan is the sun. My lord is the clouds, pregnant with rain. When he wills, he covers the moon. When he wills, it's the sun.
家で飼うなら
Blank says I would.
Lady
犬
of Charlotte's confirmed that she
それ
didn't
とも
pursue,
猫
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand.
She
I
confirmed
didn't think
that.
so. She's a good girl. The
Mary
Yeah.
Whitehouse. Come on, lady. Mary Whitehouse.
I mean, that's the other part of the story, really, is that where the girl's parents should not have been allowing them to hang out with Russell Brand, especially if they're 16 or 17.
Well, remember Trump, you know, he's like, when you're rich, they can't do the Trump thing. When you're rich, they let you do it, you know, they let you do it.
Remember when they did it to Trump and he brought out all of the victims of Bill Clinton and then they shut up?
invited them to the State of the Union address.
That's one of the best things he ever did.
That was like that was an actual like WWF type move. Like it was
I
real.
mean, Trump is a fucking master of this stuff, he really is.
Yeah.
MF Corp says, the recent guests on Duo all seem like they come straight out of Mr. D's little Black Book of Rent boys. Hey, what's the difference? Look, you just need to understand that we're in a new era now. We're in the new generation era. The new generation era.
Twink here.
By the way, I'm too tall and too built.
Yeah, no, you can go to his Twitter profile and you'll see he's not a twink. He's a twunk. He's like Charlie Downs from Lotus Eaters. Yeah.
Alfonso Design says hard times create strong men. Happy Curse Blade Doctor says we need Donald Cromwell to save us at this rate.
It's like we've had Alex Masters and Chris Gard on in the past few weeks. Are they
We'll
red boys?
be that Guard is next week's guest. Confirmed.
Oh God. Okay, God.
Deplorable Patriot says, is there a hope that the new Europeans from Lampedusa can go one step further from the 2020 BLM riots and become instrumental in late 20th century Rwandan-style population control against the indigenous people? I don't know, because I feel like the Italians, when they've had enough, they've had enough. And they've done it before. That's the thing. It's the thing. I don't know why they're messing with the Italians and the Germans again.
Also,
Before, they'll do it again.
Also, if you look at Italy, it's one of the few countries in Western Europe in which there is a active and growing young right wing. Way more than England, Germany, and Spain. Really, only France with the Front National is comparable. So if this keeps building, then there will be eventually backlash. Just Maloney wasn't the backlash that was France.
Yeah, I mean the Italians have a right-wing intellectual tradition that goes right back to the fascists. I mean, literally, you know. So.
What would Julius Evola say about Maloney?
Well, you see, the irony is that the youth group that she was a part of,
Were no,
they all had they had Evola on their reading list and stuff. So
Yeah,
Maloney probably actually read Evola, but she's just a traitor to it.
I know, but again, they should never have allowed a woman to join them. That was the downfall. You know,
I mean, he would be absolutely appalled. And I bet she wears jeans. I mean, can you imagine Evola's reaction at the melon shop?
Oh,
I mean,
God's sake.
WW says,
Recoil like dragon. No, I could not like it.
WW says, if I wanted to take over the world, I would make the current regime so hated that any pre-packaged thing I had next would be welcomed with open arms. If I have thought of this, they have. Philip Daniel says, for John D, how much do you hate the music of Sir Harrison Birtwistle and Sir Peter Maxwell Davis? Which avant-garde disharmonious was worse?
Well, yeah, Philip Maxwell Davis. I'm not that familiar with
この本を
former.
読み終え
There's a
た
lot
ば
of
かりです。
really mediocre
面
kind
白
of
かった。
mid 20th century composers of various sorts. So I don't know.
Counterpunch for I mean, people are now trying to guess Evola's reaction. From what I've read, Evola would probably have tried it on with Maloney.
書道は先月始めたばかりです
I do remember reading an account of a young fellow who took his girlfriend to Evola's flat. Can you imagine? Just like, yeah, okay, honey, our date tonight. We're going to sit and talk to Julius Evola.
Oh yeah. This was in the post-World War II period, right?
Oh, yeah, it was in the 60s, I believe.
It's in that book, Evola, the Sufi of Rome.
Yeah, and he was apparently quite charming, you know, to the young lady. So who knows?
Yeah. He also. I mean, the one thing I remember from that book is that he would suddenly just stop talking and go into a trance and just stare into space for like half an hour, and then he'd start talking again, and then he'd sit there.
田中さんは
Can you imagine
嫌
sitting
が
there
ら
half
ず
an hour
にせっ
as
せと
Evola just
勉
staring
強を
into
す
space,
る
just waiting for him to talk again? It's not weird.
That's a power move. Like, just,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you wait for half hour because I can. You know?
Yeah, it's like Putin scheduling those meetings at an absurdly long table, and like putting the person like way down the table and just making them sit there.
There's also a story of a communist infiltrator who like turns on them and tries to like turn in like report Evola to the feds or whatever. And there's the account of his reaction, and he just kind of laughs and says, "Of course, you know these things happen." He just shrugged off, just didn't care at all. So he's kind of an interesting figure in many ways. He truly knew how to ride the tiger. He truly knew how to ride the tiger.
He did. He's also apparently carried around by fit young men of the movement, because you know I remember there's some account of his you know when his trials were happening of him being carried in and out by a group of like young fascists.
But that's probably Mr. D's like dream, isn't it? Like, a cohort of young graduates to carry him around, like some colonial governor visiting, like.
Yeah.
Or like a picture of C-3PO, you know when they start worshipping.
君が来ないのでみんな残念がっているよ
Counterpunch Fortress Maximus says, "Is the stream ever going to end?"
Yeah, let's just end it.
Have you seen the 4-part documentary series Empire Warriors? It sheds light on some of the lesser-known post-World War II conflicts that the UK was involved in. Episode 2 is particularly interesting. It's about Palestine. I have not seen Empire Warriors. It sounds interesting, and I may well watch it as research, called the Boomer Truth Regime book. The Enriab says, upload... although my hatred for the Zoomers may turn Boomer Truth Regime into basically just a defense of Boomers. At this point, it's just going to be like a 200-page essay on like why the Beatles are good or whatever.
Based.
The CIA were based, actually, because they pushed the Beatles.
The defense of Jackson Pollock and the Beatles.
Here's why I really like John Lennon.
Here's why I imagine is secretly reactionary.
The Enriab says, upload a 5-minute black screen video tomorrow. Okay. Charles Reddit says,
He's just crazy enough to do it.
It will get more than 100 views. No, I know it'll get more than 100 views. Remember I did that lecture once, and I forgot to turn the bloody screen on.
Oh yeah.
Remember it was just silent.
Yes.
And I mean, there were more than 100 people in the
Yeah,
chat.
there's like hundreds of people watching it. Well, think about some of the absolutely atrocious things, like sly sneak things you've done. Your like sissy hypno things you do. You know, thousands of people watch those.
Do you know? Sorry, I know this is going long. I had a moment where I came to appreciate that some of Ray Davis's mid-70s output with the Kinks were literally the equivalent of like sly sneak posts. As in, like, this is such an esoteric, fucking weird project. Nobody cares apart from him, and yet, like, he's still putting out. Like, I kind of respect that in a way. It's kind of. I just find it really interesting when artists just get lost in themselves so much that they end up making really esoteric material like that.
Yeah, I've certainly done it. You know, and you do it enough, and you're warned that your representation is going to drop you because you've only sold like 20%.
I mean, you know, the Kinks were literally told by Arista, if you dare fucking make a concept album, we're dropping you straight away. Like, no theatrics, return to like rock and roll, like, remember you're a rock band. And they were literally told, like, do not do any of the artsy shit.
You're not The Who, you're not Genesis, you can't do it.
Okay, Charles Redding says, it's sad though, because they're good, those albums, I swear. Anyway, Charles Redding says, there's definitely more good art done on heroin than weed. For example, would you rather be in a lift with Kurt Cobain or Seth Rogen?
Ooh.
Big Nick 420 says, come on the cocktail hour. And Devastator says, can you start
この本を読み終えたばかりです。
Tony Blair throw pillows?
面白
I need to
か
add
っ
some
た。
homely detail for my underground bunker for the great purging that's coming. Oh dear, oh dear. I mean, maybe the deep plushies, but not the Tony Blair throw pillows, eh?
No, and they shouldn't be throw pillows. They should be, what do they call them? Like Dakimakura, those Japanese body pillows.
You could sell like Tony Blair pills that are literally just poison.
Yeah, just you're going to drop dead. Yeah.
Take it and it slowly kills you, and then kills you really quickly. Slowly at first, and then all at once.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, me with you bigger.
We are at the end, finally. Buy my courses, promo code MATE with 3 A's. Zuma, you've got nothing to promote.
この本を読み終えたばかりで
Yeah,
す。
Apostolic Majesty's channel soon
Omoshirokata.
with me and him talking about Germany, the project to destroy Germany during and after World War II, and Saturday again on Hitman's channel talking about Art of the Orient. Look at my Twitter for those, and Cocktail Hour, I suppose, on Friday. And oh, you mentioned your height, Zuma. How tall are you?
Very, very tall.
So you could carry the chair then.
All right.
With the number of
What goes on in this town is none of your business.
As long as I'm living here, it is.
Then maybe you shouldn't be living here!